It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles.
Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. I'm Jeff Parles. Alex White is here. Good afternoon. You have a good holiday?
I did, thank you. What about you?
Good holiday for me as well. Actually, Vinny will be proud of me. I played a little craps on the holiday.
Attaboy.
See?
That's right.
I knew he'd be thrilled by that. Vinny Magliulo's here, and look who's here. Our guy Jimmy Vaccaro's here. Hey, Jimmy.
You know, you dropped the water. Tell people
Oh,
that.
I know. Well, unfortunately for everyone at home, you won't get the video of the attempt by our guy Jimmy putting the tree on the desk, which ended up with about a quart of water on the ground, less than a pint.
Why isn't the tree on top of the desk?
Well, you know what? Let me defend myself.
Go ahead.
First of all, I'm 78 years old.
Oh.
Second of all, you should know that I do something like this every day. I spilled the water all over the place. I was going to put the tree up here, but it looks like it's an artificial tree.
No, it's a real tree, actually.
It's a real tree. It's 2
With
feet
real
high.
water.
Yeah. Frank, our guy Sean in the corner who does audio for this show, $49, right, on that tree?
What? Oh, you got it for
I was
free.
going to say, you didn't pay.
Oh, it's a BOGO.
If
Yeah.
he would have shut up, I was going to give him the $49.
Yeah.
I'm a rank sucker with my money. I know that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. How much was the water?
He'll take
That might
us.
have been
He'll take us by
$49
day. He
too,
said.
Vinny.
Hey.
Depending on the property.
Wow.
At this point.
Great.
All right. First off, we hope everyone had a great holiday.
Yes.
We were off the last 3 days. We're usually off Tuesday and Wednesday. We're back here. We normal schedule these next 4 days. Just want to tell you real quick. New Year's Day special time for us. Our guy Ralph Sirocco will be here on New Year's Day.
Mhm.
Normal show for him at 7 in the morning. And then Alex and I will be coming a half hour after Ralph is done, 8:30 a.m. Pacific till 9:30 a.m. Pacific, previewing all the bowl games, including college football semifinals, one of them between Michigan and Alabama. By the way, Vinny, did you what's going on with the microphone here? What? Okay, well that's not on me there, Ryan. You got to tell me.
Me.
You got to tell me
Turn the
these
dial.
things. You got to tell me these things. But I lost my train of thought.
You were
I know what I
asking
was
me
saying.
about the
Did you see the
semifinals.
picture at Disneyland with Jim Harbaugh and Nick Saban and Mickey Mouse?
I did.
You did.
I did see it.
Isn't that worth a point
that,
towards Michigan?
I missed that picture. Where's that picture?
Oh, you can't miss it. You can find it.
I'll
right
send you
away.
it real quick,
It's
Alex.
it's worth a point to Michigan.
Yes.
I think it's worth 3 points to Disney.
Oh,
I mean,
well, that too. Yes, yes.
I mean, I can't. Let me tell you, if that's entering into anybody's handicap, I'd be concerned. Just
What
saying.
makes you say that, Vinny?
I mean, you know how many more pictures are going to be, and at Disneyland, around Disneyland. What's going on the field? What's going on in practice? Don't get too deep into.
It's very funny, regardless.
But trust me, it should not enter into your handicap.
So, tonight's game.
I mean, if Harbaugh was in the Alabama locker room, then you could
who
probably
knows? They might be there already. You
well,
know that.
maybe. Yeah.
Now, there was I forget which
Or
player
vice
was
versa.
on Bama. I think it was Isaiah Bond said today they're not using the tablets this week.
No, they're not because because we know that Michigan has such cyber prowess. it's cyber warfare.
Prowess, very good.
Cyber warfare,
Cyber
right?
warfare.
To steal the steal signals and signs.
So going to tonight's game, there is an NFL game tonight.
Yes.
Forget the Pop-Tarts on the desk. That game's already underway. By the way, the Pop-Tart mascot came out of the toaster. So Alex got it right. Ryan got it right. Frank and I got it wrong.
You guys overthought it a little
We
bit.
absolutely.
Where did you think the mascot was going to come out of?
Box.
I thought it was going to come out of a box.
Were there any other choices?
Yeah, it was. It parachutes in, which was definitely not happening.
Okay.
And I don't even. What was
run
even?
with the players.
What was the?
Run in with the players.
Yeah, that was never happening either. That was too lame.
Will there be a race like they have the
They should. They should have multiple Pop-Tarts
they-
racing on the screen at least.
right? They have the
Yeah, the strawberry, blueberry,
There you go.
s'mores, brown
Yeah.
sugar, cinnamon.
All right. Tonight's game.
Yes, tonight's game. Tonight's game.
Open 7, the
yes.
Brownies.
Yes.
By the way, Joe Flacco played for the Jets a year ago in this matchup.
Yes, that was the.
And threw what? 4 interceptions?
No. He threw 4 touchdowns in that game.
He had some interceptions
He
too,
did,
didn't he?
but that was a game. Remember, Vinny? That was the game where the Jets were down 13 points with less than 2 minutes to go and won in regulation.
They won and they ran off the. That was So a year ago. By the way, Jimmy will remember this too. These are the first 2 teams. These are the 2 teams, I should say, that played in these 2 teams, the Jets and the Browns in Cleveland, played in the first Monday Night Football game.
I was in the Viking Lounge in Youngstown, Ohio.
There you go.
And I blew my money, and I blamed everybody on Youngstown because they are bad luck people.
Okay.
What were you doing in Youngstown?
Yeah, Youngstown was a hot place for gambling as a kid. I mean, they had all night dice games and bar boot games. They had a book on every corner, and I went to college there, but I was 45 hours short, and I never went back. But
you still have eligibility, Jimmy.
Yeah, and everything was good about Youngstown. And before I go any further, let me tell you what Jimmy does from the drive when he comes to work. Well, I wouldn't use the word work. When I come here, put it that way. I go to like a Smith's or something and get the shredded wheat. You eat the shredded wheat without putting it in any liquid. You just crunch them up. They're delicious, and they're actually not too bad for you to use because it's just like a little shredded wheat, a little bit of sugar. So I'm trying to help you. Oh, I almost dropped the water again.
Jimmy, get away from all liquids.
All right, let's get to some serious stuff. How about if I throw something out, then you guys take it from here?
Please.
I've been behind the counter, obviously, for a long, long time, and so has Vincenz. And you've seen the growth of the bowl games. You've seen the growth of football in general. You've seen the growth of the NFL in general. And what I've noticed in the last few years, and this so far this year, it's been really, really good. The handle every year goes up. There's never been a year other than like maybe the pandemic year where when gaming sends out all their figures that we've had less money from betting on sports to whatever. Goes up a little, not that it goes up 20%, but it goes up 2 or 3%. But what it means is like we create new customers every year. So then when we had this, what you can tell, and Vincenz helped me out here.
Yep.
When we're headed into like what you would consider, I looked at this schedule. Some great matchups. Some great matchups, which is just going to make new customers out of people who say, hey, I want to go watch that or make a bet on it, and we'll be jammed here, as I'm sure every other sportsbook also. So when you see the growth of something like that, and like, I can tell you already with Vincenz, you look at the screen quite a bit. It's been a monster handle. Now, the early ones that been played in the last few days, they haven't lost any juice. It's not that but when you see, the games like this, just look at the last 4 teams playing in these games. It's like a Super Bowl weekend. And once more, the biggest pain in the ass for people like Chris and whatever actually got to put his deal down there as far as like how far the NFL goes. The big deal, and college also, is like who in the quarterbacks, who are going to play?
Correct.
One could be -3. If you switch them, it's -7. So you got to sit your behind like Chris does and just wait for everything to come in. So I know that there's really no way to fix it because you can't tell a kid not to go and make the money, and you can't tell anything like that. But truthfully, I have never seen a switch here again, a growth like we've seen in the sports in the last 5 years, and it ain't over, kids.
So, to Jimmy's point, the bowl games have been, they've been exciting. They've been played mainly the day of. There was some professional money that would show early, and as trying to gauge exactly what Jimmy said, who's going to play, who's not going to play, who's going to opt out for whatever reasons. But it's starting to pick up. Today is the day that really jumpstarts, the holiday weekend, which will be exceptional. Now, again, from our perspective, typically, some lower limits on the non-playoff bowl games. But now that we're here to the weekend, you know what? Things we pretty much know who's going to play and who's not going to play, right? And the numbers have pretty much stabilized. So these are going to draw a tremendous amount of money. In fact, the 2 semifinals on Monday will be bet them some of the pro games on Sunday, and we're going to book them like NFL playoff games, and they're going to be bet like NFL playoff games. So that's the true beauty and the excitement of it.
And
Great
when you
game
s-
tonight
Oh,
with
good, kid.
Arizona and Oklahoma. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to that one. That's gonna
That's
be a
what
great
I was
matchup.
going to. That's what a
Yeah.
matchup. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a matchup.
3.5
teams
originally.
Like, I'm sorry,
I'm
Vinny.
sorry. No, 3.5 opened. Arizona originally, but now down to 2.5 on Arizona. So against Oklahoma, I think that surprised people initially. But again, Oklahoma's, speaking of opting out, quarterback entered the transfer portal.
Jackson Arnold will be starting tonight. Dylan Gabriel,
Good.
of course, already committed to Oregon.
Yep.
Fafita will play for Arizona. They're just down. They're really, actually, in all honesty, for teams in this era, they're actually in pretty reasonable shape.
No,
They're down their best offensive lineman who declared for the NFL draft, but other than that, they basically have all their good players in that game tonight in San Antonio.
Yeah, 62.5, 63 down to 60 on the total. So,
And when you make new teams who are crowd favorites, like who's playing Ohio State?
Missouri,
like you couldn't get anybody to name anybody on Missouri. But now, obviously, with a couple good years, and now they're playing I would consider this a pretty damn good game to see who the hell is going to win. So put it this way. We'll be high on Ohio State, but that ain't making no guarantee winner against this team. So everything changes. Everything gets a little better. And, we're lucky we're in this racket and we get paid to do this. So what can I tell you, kid?
that game tomorrow, Vinny, I do want to bring it up real quick, actually, since Jimmy brought it up, because that one's been all over the map on the line. It actually sounds like Marvin Harrison Jr. might actually play in this game.
yeah, I know.
Which is a little bit of a surprise, and that's part of the reason Ohio State
up to 4.
has been bopped back to a 4-point favorite after being an underdog in this game for a good portion of time leading up to
they opened as a slight favorite, a
Yep.
2-point favorite, went to a dog, and now, it's about – but if Harrison plays, that's as significant as you're going to get from a non-quarterback impact in terms of the number, and it's now up to Ohio State 4, yeah?
As a Missouri grad, I hope Marvin Harrison Jr. plays.
You do.
I want to see
Please
where that Mizzou program really is at.
Well, okay.
More than anything.
True.
Like, if they lose, so be it. But I want to see where they're at, matching up. Now,
Nice season for them, by the way.
A
Yeah.
10-win season, you
Right.
take that every time at that program.
Yeah.
Kyle McCord, of course, is going to be an Orange next year.
Mhm.
Syracuse, where he committed, where Ohio State will have their backup quarterback in this one.
And let me run this by you, too, because I think it's important, but we'll jump to the pros in a second here.
Mhm.
I was really glad that Kansas City got their ass kicked because it just makes more of somewhat. They use this word, I could never use it, but a must win. So in other words, you could really, what I mean by that is like simply, you could cheat the number because we're going to get Kansas City money in every teaser in the world and every parlay in the world. So this is good for people like me. I'm sure Vincenzo also is like when we need everybody to be fighting for a playoff, which we are right now. And that just seems to grow. And it's hard. You know what? Even if you liked it and the entertainment value was there, it's hard not to make a bet if you've done it before, especially with some of these great matchups we have.
And if you notice too, right? So let's remember this: there's no Monday night game. Obviously, everybody's got to play, and the teams that are in a similar position from a playoff standpoint, they have to play at the same time. Jimmy and I remember the days when we would have to take off every afternoon game just about because of the games in the morning, having a bearing in those last 2 weeks of the season in terms of, what happens early could impact, the afternoon number significantly.
And you mentioned it, Jimmy. I mean, Kansas City technically still has not clinched the AFC West.
Right.
They if we got real weird, they lose their last two and the Raiders win the division, which is just total insanity.
Or the Broncos.
Or the Broncos. Well,
Wow.
that too with
Stidham?
Jarrett Stidham starting for Denver this week. That whole situation now, I'm stunned it happened now. Just the way that it all broke down with that Stidham is starting over Russell Wilson this week. And I'll be honest with you, I know they're hiding right now behind hey, we don't want him to get hurt because of the injury clause in the contract. No, I think Sean Payton genuinely thinks he has a better shot of winning with Jarrett Stidham than he does with Russell Wilson right now.
I personally don't think he cares about that element as much as he just
cares
about
it
just
at all.
getting rid of him. I mean, it's it's turned into his way or no way. I mean, he came in after Russell Wilson, and he's got if not all, he's got a significant amount of say in what's going on, especially when you're paying Russell Wilson that kind of money, and now you've benched him for the remaining 2 games.
Something just came across the ticker. Taylor Swift is divorcing this kid because he lost the game.
Oh.
Should give him the pitch.
Oh, man.
Any big tickets for tonight's game?
Yeah, 1 on 20,000, but you know what? The kids didn't put up there a lot of tickets, nothing huge yet, And I would say this, after this weekend, maybe even starting tomorrow, you'll see what we would consider a lot of big tickets.
Yeah.
And people like that, especially the people who understand the racket, they know, in most cases, with games like this, the favorite's going to get the money. So the wise guys are sitting on their ass right now because they might as well wait right to the end because they're never going to get a number that's worse than it is right now. It can only get better if you're looking for something, which creates the big. The guy that we showed them tickets the last couple of weeks, betting like 6 games on the totals and whatever. Oh, I'd like to bet a big amount of money that he will be here before these major games start.
So tonight, open 7, got as high as 8. There was a $22,000 play on the plus 7.5 actually, and that's got back down to 7, and the total down a couple of 2.5, 3 points to 34 now off the opener. So, yeah.
All right, let you gentlemen go back to work.
All right, we're going to try.
Jimmy, Vinny, pleasure as always.
Don't mess up.
I won't touch the tree again. Don't worry.
Don't
worry. I thought you were going to take Jimmy. In all honesty, that Steeler gnome that Alex brought in, that's right in the middle of the tree there. See the Steeler hat at the top of the tree?
On the top there, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right under.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't.
Jimmy Vaccaro, Vinny. Maybe another word mixed in there, right, Vinny?
Oh, there'd be a couple.
Ryan, we're going to get you the mop.
Thank
We're going to
you,
get you the
guys.
mop there. Big thanks to Jimmy. Jimmy and Vinny, everybody. Always very entertaining to talk to Jimmy, as we know, and Vinny, of course, who we'll see tomorrow on the show with Chris Andrews. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Jim Root, 3-Man Weave, joins us. Final week of 2023. What is Jim's thoughts going into conference play across the board in 2024? That's next. Sports by the Book.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back in. Sports by the Book is the show. There's a sports book right there. The Christmas tree still up. They'll be up into 2024, as we imagine. I'm Jeff Parles. Alex White is here as well. All I know is social media is ablaze by the edible Pop-Tart mascot going on in this Pop-Tart Bowl. By the way, Kansas State up 7-0 on NC State opening drive. Touchdown 3-and-out for NC State, and now K-State with the football back. All right, let's bring him in. Our guy, Jim Root, three-man weave, where you can find Jim's work. Jim, first off, hope you had a great holiday earlier in the week and a Happy New Year. So I get that out of the way so I don't forget at the end of the interview to wish you a Happy New Year. But let's get into tonight, Jim. There's 2 Pac-12 games tonight, and I want to start there. The LA teams go up to Oregon for that double. UCLA's in Corvallis to take on the Beavers. UCLA 6.5-point favorites. Oregon hosting USC. Ducks 2.5-point favorites in that one.
I think if I had to take one here, it'd be the Oregon game, laying it at home with the Ducks. They've got a ton of injury issues, so there is some diciness there, and I think it explains why the number is where it's at. Their 2 big men, Nafali Dante and Nate Biddle, have been out for a little while, definitely still out tonight. They've had one of their star freshmen, Mookie Cook's been out a while, and another key guard, Keyshawn Bartholomew, has been out a little bit. But the big thing for them is this freshman point guard, Jackson Shellstad, has started to emerge into like a real star. This is a guy coming into the year I was super high on. He missed like the first 6 to 8 games or so. And he's just kind of an underrated recruit because he's not big enough to be a true NBA prospect right now. But he's a terrific floor leader. He can shoot. He can set people up. He can score via the pick and roll or set up others. So I think with the Ducks, with his emergence, I actually like that for them. USC is still trying to figure itself out, reincorporating Bronny James. Isaiah Collier's been super turnover prone, and now they go to one of the tougher environments on the road, even though it is during Christmas break. So I definitely lean Oregon there. The other game, Oregon State's just not very good. I would normally take them as a home dog, 6.5 to start league play here, but UCLA, as bad as they've been, I still think they kind of lay over Oregon State in terms of talent. They're figuring out their rotation as well right now with some of their international freshmen getting used to the college game. But I still think they're just a class ahead of this Oregon State team that's kind of in the early stages of their like 4-year rebuild that they go through. They get young guys, build them all the way up until they're seniors, and that's when they go on their magical Elite Eight run when they're experienced. But they're in the early stages of that. So it leaned to UCLA, but not a team that I want to lay points with on the road right now in a conference opener.
Hey, Jim, after a couple nights off from college basketball, a couple games last night, but now we almost have a full card here. Is there any other games you're looking at tonight?
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed my couple nights off there. But, yeah, I like that we're getting eased back in before a big card Friday and then a huge one Saturday. Looking down the board, I really like Little Rock on the road at Tennessee Tech. Very, very narrow favorite. 1.5 points. I don't think I'm too worried about the home environment for Tennessee Tech there. And Little Rock, I think, is a little bit underrated because they were missing point guard KK Robinson for a decent portion of the non-conference slate. This is a guy that started at Arkansas as a top 100 recruit, then went to Texas A&M, has really found a home now with Little Rock. Mega productive guy. He was the all-time leading assist. Holds the all-time assist record at Oak Hill Academy. Brandon Jennings, all kinds of stars that have played at that basketball powerhouse. So I think KK Robinson's the difference there. I was hoping that Little Rock would get another boost from Mikal Mitchell, whose twin brother is currently at Arkansas. A big 6'10" guy would give him a real force in the paint, but he came back for one game after the transfer the two-time waivers were all approved, and then had his arm in a sling the next game. So I don't think we'll see him here. But between Robinson, South Florida transfer Jameer Chaplin, and then just Tennessee Tech not really being a team I believe in, I think your real slight road favorite there with Little Rock, I think is worth a look.
That is Tennessee Tech, Ken Palm 322, hosting 266. So Jim going down the card for that one tonight with Little Rock with the Trojans tonight as a short road favorite in that one. All right, Jim, I want to go back to last weekend in the game I was at, and that was Florida Atlantic and Arizona. And you and I were texting during this game. I'm very impressed with the Owls. We knew they already had great pedigree, last year's Final Four, only a buzzer beater away from being in a national title game. But they showed me a ton in a double overtime game against the team that I thought was the best team in the country going into the game, and they still very well might be. But there are some things in that with Arizona that scare me that showed up in that game. And as good as Caleb Love is, you're living by Caleb Love and you're dying by Caleb Love if you're Arizona the rest of the way through here.
Yeah, I found it pretty funny every time they'd cut to him late in the game and it'd be like, okay, Love, it just hit a big shot, so we'll zoom in, we'll show his stat line. It's like he's 7 for 18. And then 3 minutes later, they'll zoom in and he's 8 for 23. And it's like, yeah, okay, the one he made was big, but you're not showing the 5 others that he missed to continue shooting 33% from the field or whatever it is. I wish they were getting a little bit more from Kylan Boswell late in the game like that. I don't want it to all be in Caleb Love's hands. I don't want it to be just like ISO ball, either pull up from 25 feet or try to figure something out. Like, just want a little bit more action. Boswell is such a good passer out of the pick and roll. I think that was worth taking a look at. And Arizona didn't really take advantage of the matchup edge they had at the 4. Keyshawn Johnson should have lit up that FAU team the way that Marcus Damask did for Illinois when they played FAU out at in New York in Madison Square Garden. And they never really went to him on the block. And I know Tommy Lloyd doesn't want to like bog down his offense with an ISO post-up, but I think that's something they should have looked at. And maybe in a postseason game, they really drilled down on a mismatch like that, and they're still developing their system. But that was something I would have liked to see from Arizona. On the other hand, yeah, FAU stood up to a team that is much bigger than them, has arguably higher talent, pro-level athletes, and was every bit their equal. You know, there's some shot making for FAU that I think kept them in it. I believe shot quality scored at like a 10 or 15 point win for Arizona. But still, I mean, the fact that they made those shots, that matters. Janelle Davis was hitting those ridiculously tough pull-ups. They got some big shots from their supporting cast. Like Jalen Gaffney hit a pull-up 3 in OT. Trey Carroll off the bench hit 3 big free throws in OT. It's like the team just plays with a collective confidence that obviously comes from going to the Final Four, but I think Dusty May just does a great job of instilling that in them. And you add that to their flexibility and style, their depth, now that they've got Nick Boyd back from an injury in the backcourt. FAU is legit. Like, putting them top 10, I don't think is some sort of exaggeration based on last year's accomplishments, the way there's a couple other teams in the top 25 that I think are riding the coattails of last year. But FAU, they deserve where they're ranked right now.
Let's keep it right there. I don't know how big you are with future bets, but I just got this from the book here at South Point, and I'll give this to Jeff as well. But Florida Atlantic is 40-1. Is that worth putting a little bit on?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you look at the other teams that I believe are top 10 caliber, and they're probably priced around 10-1, 15-1, just about every other one of them. And maybe there's some skepticism around FAU just in terms of what their path will be, because who knows where they're going to get seeded. The American is really tricky this year, the conference that they're in, because only Memphis is another likely tournament team, but like 10 of the other teams are good enough to beat FAU at home. Now, a lot of those games will probably be road type or Q2 on the ledger. But if you drop a few of those and you don't quite live up to the ranking that they're at right now, you end up further down the seed line. The path isn't as good as in Arizona or Purdue, probably coming out of the 1 line. So maybe that's built into the price a little bit, but they're continuing to rise in advanced analytical numbers, your Ken Palms, your Bart Torviks, your Evan Mias. So I think it makes sense. I don't think FAU is as far from those 10-1 teams as the numbers really indicate.
That's the best number I've seen on FAU in the quick little research that I'm doing. So that if you like the Owls, behind us is where you want to play it to win a national title. All right, Jim. Going into conference play basically across the board now, I want to go back to the Big 12 because it's number 1 in Ken Palm in the league for league rankings. BYU is still sitting there at 4th, which sure, whatever. That will adjust as we go through Big 12 play. But it's really fascinating to me where you look at Houston, who they're number 1 in Ken Palm. They deserve to be there, but they really haven't played anyone other than a compromised Texas A&M team in non-con. We talked about that. Kansas has no depth, even though they're guys, obviously, top of the line talent. And then you have Iowa State, who just kind of seems like they're flying under the radar. But then you have the same argument of, they haven't really beat anyone. It's a weird dynamic that this Big 12 has going in. Now, I still think it's the best league in the country for sure, but it may not be as strong as we think it is, at least going into the conference play.
Yeah, that's kind of been a perception that I've had challenged lately. I agree with you. I think it's the number one league. I think there are multiple national title contenders. I think there's a lot of high seeds in that. But I did see a tweet over Christmas. I think it was from JBR Bracketology on Twitter, where he went through the top 6 leagues and added up the Q1 and Q2 wins for each conference, and then the amount of those wins per team in the league. And the Big 12 was 6th out of those top 6 leagues. Big East, ACC, SEC, all of them ahead of the Big 12. And a lot of that's because the lower end teams, West Virginia, UCF, Oklahoma State, Texas, Texas is down in there. I think all those teams have combined for 0, which obviously is anchoring that average of Q1, Q2 wins. But the best thing that this league has done so far is blow out their inferior competition. That's why BYU is 4th. That's why Iowa State is sitting at 12th in KenPom. Those teams have really taken care of business against inferior competition. Even Oklahoma, I think you could put in that group as well. We just need to see now through the gauntlet of conference play and going on the road whether those numbers hold up. And Houston sitting up there at number 1, they lost Terrence Arsenault, a really super athletic wing off the bench, to a torn Achilles. Kind of hurts their depth a little bit, that perimeter shot challenging that makes them so tough to play against. Are they going to be able to sustain that number 1 as they go in through the Big 12? A lot of really tough road environments. I think that's a question a lot of people have for them. Same goes for BYU. I think they've got a great home edge because they're out in the mountains. That's a great atmosphere. It's rabid there at BYU, but they've got to go long road trips too. And I think that could wear on some of those teams in the Big 12. As we get into the NCAA tournament, I'm still a huge believer of them down the line in March. But I think there's going to be some good spots to pick off some teams that might be a little overvalued in the analytical rankings as they go through that slate of the league, and especially all those road spots that they're going to face.
Well, you mentioned BYU again, with being the furthest west of all these new Big 12 teams. They have – these are the road games this year where they play back-to-back road games. They go to Waco and then they go to Orlando. That's not ideal. Now, granted, on the flip side – they come home and play Iowa State at home. That's not the greatest home spot for them after traveling from Orlando back to Provo. Then my favorite one for them is Morgantown and then Norman. That's a great road trip also. Granted, West Virginia isn't any good, but that game in Norman may be a horrible spot for BYU. And that's something, at least with them. And look, Utah's going into that league next year. Arizona State. With these cross-country leagues, and this goes for the Big Ten too, you're going to have some weird spots moving forward where you have teams legitimately traveling cross-country and then having to travel back home, and even those home spots aren't great, Jim.
Yeah, you try to figure out how much to put into the line for the home court advantage on that. Typical games probably around 3. And you get some of these altitude teams in the mountains, and your standard goes up to maybe 4, 4.5. But then if you add in the long travel, maybe it's going to be worth 6 in some of these or something. Like we've seen that in the Pac-12, even when teams do that mountain trip and they go to Colorado and Utah back to back, which what we're seeing starting tomorrow night for the Washington schools. That second leg, especially, your legs start to go. Home court can be worth a ton, almost a touchdown in those games. So between those long travel spots, and I think your note on BYU hosting after coming home from that long travel, that's going to be part of the handicap too. Like, all right, they had to fly 2,000 miles to get here also. It's not like they've been kicking back in their own comfy beds. So there's a lot of minutia that goes into this handicap now with the leagues spreading across throughout the country. And I think that's a very valid point as we go into league play.
Yeah, and I mean, you even see it, Jim, in the Big East still at times where teams have to go to Creighton and then come back. And that's not that far of a trip. That's a shorter trip than any of the things I just mentioned for BYU, having to base BYU going Provo to Morgantown. I'm sure that's a flight route we all expected to be something we needed in 2024, but yet here we are. All right, Jim, before we let you go, the big weekend, a lot of games tomorrow, a lot of games on Saturday. A few weeks ago when you were on, you were spot on with Clemson beating TCU in that game in Toronto. We even got a nice plus price in that game, not knowing the line a few days in advance. Are there games that you're looking at, or games specifically that you're looking at as a potential spot where you're going to look for one side here?
I think the first one, just to keep in mind, is on the Sunday, those two mountain teams, Colorado and Utah, getting Washington and Washington State respectively on the second leg. Again, those are Sunday, so not immediately coming up, but keep those circled because the second leg of the mountain trip is always really, really tough for teams. And then on Saturday, one spot I love is Wake Forest hosting Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's been kind of trying to figure things out a little bit coming into this year. Their starting point guard, Sean Padula, has been in and out of the lineup with a kind of a knock. It's not a big injury or anything, but they just haven't quite gotten their continuity together, whereas I think Wake Forest is really trending up. They've gotten Efton Reed eligible, the big man from Gonzaga. He was a two-time transfer. He got eligible after coming over from Gonzaga and LSU prior to that. He's given them a true paint presence. And they should be getting Damari Monsanto. I don't know if it'll be this weekend or maybe early January, but he's one of the best shooters in the country, kind of the across half-court range, no conscience, take 10 threes in a game kind of guy. You introduce that element to their offense. They've already got a great driver in Hunter Salas, a couple other complementary guards, and I mentioned Reed. I think Wake's trending up, and Ken Palm's got that line -3. I will have it north of that, and will likely be playing the Demon Deacons there on Saturday.
He's Jim Root. Again, find his work over at Three Man Weave. Second Chance Points on Twitter as well to check out Jim's Twitter profile there. Jim, always a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And have yourself a Happy New Year.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the new year.
We will. Jim Root, everyone. Again, Three Man Weave. Him, Matt, Kai, do great work. You see one of the three of them
It's
every
been great.
Thursday
They give
here
us great
on the show.
information. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate them.
We get back, Alex, we're going to figure out where in the casino is our guy Frank Nicotero. We're going to figure it out. I have a little bit of an idea of where Frank may be, but it's going to be fun. That's all I know. That's next. Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, 777s, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Welcome back in. It's Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. I'm Jeff Parles. Alex White is here. We'll figure out where Frank Nicotero is in a few moments. Audio issues for our guy Frank today? Oh, he's not on. Frank, what are you doing there? Oh, there he is. We got him. We got our guy Frank. We'll get him. We'll get him in a moment. We'll be able to tell you where in the casino is Frank Nicotero. And quite frankly, he didn't get far away enough from us based off of the early video evidence here. Real quick before we get to Frank, we haven't gotten your thoughts at all on this football game tonight, Alex. The Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland with a win, you are in the NFL playoffs here in the 2023 season. The Jets playing to mess up their draft selection, as usual for them. Alex, down to 7, 34 is the total. I actually like this game under. I like this under. I know it's you could have had 2.5 points better on Christmas Day. Still think it's fine even at 34. Maybe I'll wait to see if Cleveland scores on the opening drive and then bang it under then. At some point, we're getting Joe Flacco regression. It's coming.
Every time you say that, it usually happens that game.
Well, but here we went through this with Frank on punchlines. The bigger issue more than anything is that Flacco hasn't faced an elite defense yet. And this is the best defense he's faced. Now, the Jets had their own issues last week. They almost blew that game. They're up 20 against Washington and when Brissett came in. But we'll see. I am not betting a side in this game. I'd only lean to an under here.
And I didn't either. I have other games coming up this weekend that I really like. So I passed on this. I might jump in. I do like the under. I'm with you there. I think the Jets defense give Flacco some problems. 3rd in yards per pass allowed. They're also top 10 in both sack rate and interception rate. And we've seen Flacco throw 5 picks already in the last 2 games. I did look a little bit at Flacco over 35 pass attempts, though, because Cleveland is throwing the ball a lot. And in his 4 starts, he threw 42 passes in each of those games. So that was a prop I looked to, but haven't played anything yet. I will be looking to go on the under if anybody scores early.
By the way, this Pop-Tarts Bowl, Kansas State scored a touchdown on 4th and 5, and the punter just ran for 30 yards on their 3rd drive. So 7-0 Kansas State leading North Carolina State in the early goings. Well, actually not so early anymore, about midway through the 2nd quarter in Orlando for that one. Tonight, we mentioned it in the college football side. There is one more bowl game today. So far, Rutgers winning outright. Boston College is a big underdog winning outright in the Fenway Bowl. Oklahoma and Arizona tonight in San Antonio, Alex. Total up to 60 behind us. Arizona laying 2.5 in this one. I actually like the Wildcats. I don't mind taking a better number on the total over as well. There is a 59 in the market. What I saw from Jackson Arnold in this limited work this year, not impressive. Noah Fafita will play for Arizona. They're pretty well unscathed except for their starting left tackle and 2 guys on defense. I do like the Wildcats tonight to beat Oklahoma and get the double-digit wins on the year.
I don't mind that at all. I'm excited about this game. It's going to be a great game. I mean, both of these teams had a great season. Arizona playing for their 10th win and Oklahoma for their 11th. I do like the over, too, because – you know, we saw Noah Fafita, and he had a great year in what we've seen from them. And I think you mentioned it earlier in Punchlines. I think Jackson Arnold, with a month of practice under his belt, will see some production from him. He did complete 75% of his passes in his 24 attempts. So I lean to the over in this one. Really just excited to watch it. Might be a great in-game, too. I think you can get plus money on either side of these, depending on which one you like at some point.
Yes, I would agree on that. You're going to be able to get a better number on Oklahoma in game if Arizona goes down, scores a touchdown right away, or if Arizona goes behind, you'll be able to get them plus money as we go through this. Just going to tomorrow's bowl games real quick. Don't worry, we'll get Frank eventually. We're still waiting on Frank to be somewhere in the casino here. Clemson and Kentucky tomorrow, down to 4. One-way traffic on Kentucky in this game. Clemson still favored, Alex. Total 44.5.
I do think Kentucky plus the points is the side here. They had a good season as well. Finished 7-5, going for their 8th win. No real opt-outs for Clemson except for on the defensive side, and that's what kind of concerns me here because we know Clemson's known for their defense, even though they were 20th in the nation this year, so it wasn't a great season for them, giving up 20 points per game. I think this will be a good game as well, but I would lean to Kentucky with the points.
Yeah, I'm not touching it since you missed the best of it in this one, but again, we'll have more bowl games to get to as we go through. I think we have our guy Frank Nicotero finally. We do. He is here. Frank, where in the world or where in the casino? Oh, look at that. Spoiling where you are.
Where in the casino is Frank Nicotero? I am here at the wonderful deli, which, as you know, Jeff, I stayed in the hotel quite some time when I first got here, and I ate at the deli a lot. And we have the owner right here, and this is Peter. And Peter, who's your favorite football team?
New York Jets.
Or it used to be, you said.
Used to be.
So he is a Jets fan like Jeff, and they're playing the Cleveland Browns tonight. What do you think tonight about the game?
Jets have a tough D. Their offense is terrible. Could go. I mean, they could be in the game, but probably not.
And it's a 7-point line, so the Browns are favored by 7. Can the Jets cover that?
I would say no.
No. Now, listen, as I said, I've eaten the deli. The egg salad's amazing. By the way, the cookies are tremendous. And he brought us cookies, which I can run back for Alex and Jeff as well. So tell us how long you've owned the deli here, right here in the South Point Casino.
We've been here since 2008.
Oh, wow.
And we've been in the business since 96. I started out when I was 15 in New York in an Italian deli.
Oh, my God.
So a long time. Plus I'm old.
And what's your biggest seller? What's the most popular meal here?
Pastrami.
Oh, that's the one thing I haven't had yet.
Pastrami is the #1 seller for us.
And the desserts are ridiculous.
Yes. Huge. Not for the health-conscious people.
Right. Now, listen, since the Jets, we have a Jets fan who owns a deli that are playing the Brownies tonight. The Brownies are also pretty good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Now, if the Jets win, will you eat a brownie in celebration?
I'll have to, but I'll have to split it with somebody.
All right, and you got your manager here too, Joshua. Yeah. Joshua's here. Josh, come in. Josh, do you follow football at all?
Not much for sports, but I do watch it a lot since we're here all the time, watching the games, cheering with everybody else.
All right, yes, that's another great thing at the South Point here. All right, we're going to let these guys get back to work. Peter, good luck to your Jets tonight. Josh, nice meeting you, buddy. All right, we're going to stick around. Thank you, guys.
Jets,
Jets. All right. So anyway, guys, as you can see, the sports book is filling up. We have a lot of rabid fans here already. I hear a lot of Jets fans talking smack to a Cleveland fan. So we're looking for a good game tonight. I'm going to stay here and watch in the sports book.
Frank, how have you not had the pastrami? What's going on? It's a new. First off, our friends over Frank Delmar Deli, of course, the name of our deli here,
the Delmar Deli,
at the South Point. And Peter, look, it makes sense. They make as good of a bagel as there is in Las Vegas, and
as good of a bagel as you can get in Vegas. Jeff said, "See, yep.
yeah. I would argue it's the best bagel in Las Vegas. I love their breakfast sandwiches, and the pastrami. It makes sense. It's their best seller, Frank. The pastrami sandwich is the best thing I've eaten from there.
Now, see, I love pastrami. I got to have the yellow mustard. So that's what I will do for lunch before the diet kicks in for New Year's. But maybe I'll get fed and watch it during the game tonight because I like Cleveland. The 7 points we talked about this. I've never rooted for the Browns in my life, but I do like Cleveland tonight since the crowd's going to be into it. And it's in Cleveland, and they're looking for that playoff spot to lock it up. Plus the Joe Flacco revenge factor, which I'm sure you guys have talked about. But am I crazy on that? You're a Jets fan. What do you think of this game?
Me? If the Jet defense shows up, I'll stay close. I said it with you earlier, Frank. I am concerned about Flacco finally facing a real defense. Alex claims I've been good on this regression thing. I don't know about that. But I'm not going to bet anything here in this one. By the way, since we mentioned it earlier, Frank and I are already eliminated from the Pop-Tarts, which is the Pop-Tarts Bowl props that they have this year. Also, Frank, in very important news, real quick.
Yes.
Roger Sherman from the media. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy eating on the air for the second time today. Very impressive. Giant cookie.
Day. Oh.
The size of his head.
And he's not that far from us. He could just walk over here and come share with us.
In all honesty, Frank should move over here in a few minutes again. But look at that thing. But Frank, we have word on the Pop-Tarts that are available in the media room at the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Oh, we need to hear. Did we lose him?
They? Oh, did we lose me?
No, we got you. We got you. We got you.
I'm tired.
We got you. Blueberry, confetti, strawberry, brown sugar, cinnamon, and chocolate chip. Chocolate chip is the best of all of them.
I didn't even know there was a chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip is a classic. That's the one that's...
Oh, my God.
What happened?
I've been just handed it. This is a Cleveland brownie. Is that marshmallows? Yeah. Oh, my God. Marshmallow brownie. I have to try. This is for the Jet fans. I'm going to eat the Browns. All right, here we go. Oh, my God. And then you got to chase it with the cookie. That's what you got to do.
Ryan, do we have food by the book yet ready to go? We have the graphic for that. Look at this. Frank's having a time of his life at the Del Mar Deli here today.
That's good.
That is the silhouette of Frank right now from afar that you see on your screen right now. But Frank, Frank, can you just bring some of those treats back for us before the end of the show?
Of course. I could walk and talk and do it right now if you really want to.
See, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go. Taste test. Let's go.
We're taste testing it. We're going.
There we go.
So listen, I'll be eating a strawberry Pop-Tart on the show tomorrow. It'll be the first Pop-Tart I've had in 13,352 days because it was the last day of high school. So I'll tell it tomorrow, and I'll eat a strawberry Pop. They want us to bring this over live.
Okay.
We're walking. Yeah, I'm going to hear tomorrow.
Come see me. I'll make it strong.
Oh, you're the man. Okay. Hey, by the way, Jeff, thank you for talking about the pastrami because Peter's going to make me one tomorrow at noon. So when I come
beautiful.
beautiful.
We Shout out to
split it.
Peter.
Peter, thank you. Joshua, thank you. All right, we're bringing the treats.
Very
Ann
good.
And I, we're running. There we are live.
By the way, there really
coming
isn't
in.
a bad item on that menu.
There's not. No.
You can try
there
anything.
isn't.
It's
There's
fantastic.
not. Jerry just got up very quick. Oh, look
Jerry,
at this.
thank you.
Look at this. All right, come on. On set. Into the microphone. Let's go. Look at that. By the way, real quick, before we get totally thrown off the loop here, big news in the football game tonight. Amari Cooper is out.
Oh.
So that is big news tonight with no Amari Cooper. Of course, coming off the largest receiving game in Cleveland Brown history.
Yeah, like 254.
He
or
is
200,
out
yeah.
with a heel injury.
Oh, this is interesting.
So
Ozzie Newsome's going to come in and play, I think, for Cleveland.
Chancey Stuckey? I don't know.
I've never heard of it. Yeah, right. I'm thinking of all the old Cleveland receivers.
So that line, it's still 7. Total is now 34 across the board because of that. I don't see this line moving off 7, but that is significant that Cooper won't play.
Yeah, as important as Amari Cooper is, would he have the ability to change the line at least a half point? I don't think so, right?
Maybe people react and move it a half point. Look at this. The buffet.
Bring the cookie. Now, I only took if you're a marshmallow brownie guy, that's ridiculously. I don't know how many people that's supposed to feed.
I am very concerned about getting chocolate sauce all over my shirt.
Well, I know that's not that saucy.
Still, but
no wonder why he said he had to share with somebody.
Yeah,
Those
the whole
are
cookie.
huge.
Go for the cookie.
I'll do the cookie for
Look
now.
to the cookie, Elaine.
Yeah, there we go. Very, very good.
Little
very
Seinfeld
good.
reference.
See, this has been a big day for you and I
know.
today. We have eaten on both shows,
which Ann loves.
I had the frosted blueberry Pop-Tart before.
You did.
We all then took advantage. Again, I think both of us need the keto in the new year.
I'm starting January 14th.
14th.
like the third, second or third.
You just keep pushing that time.
Listen, I know I gained weight since I started here. It's working on this show, watching sports all night, living in a hotel for a while. So I got to get back to basics a little bit. So, but the sweets are not good. Alex, you're not partaking, I think. No. Okay. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you.
It's a good cookie.
I did make you come over here.
The cookie's great. I've had it when it's a chocolate chip cookie, and it would last me 2 or 3 days. I want to say, by the way. So Peter, thank you. My God. And he said, I get a pastrami hookup tomorrow, which I'll share with.
I tell you, the pastrami is awesome.
And I'm like, with you guys. I was thinking, like, will I take it? I was going to say I'll share it with my fridge for that. I was thinking of a joke, and it flopped because I'm on a sugar coma rush right now. So, anyway.
But we still don't know the flavor of the Pop-Tart mascot.
And
we still don't. Yeah.
We still don't know which one they brought up first, or
which one they mentioned first during the show.
First.
It's a good point. We're gonna have to find out tomorrow. You're gonna have to tune into Punchlines tomorrow at noon.
Also, by the way, we did find out also the first. They did mention the first 4 flavors ever for Pop-Tarts on the air. Do you want to guess
the
them?
original flavors?
The original 4.
Like this is like hockey, like the original 6.
Yes, it is.
I gotta go strawberry.
That's one of them.
That's my class. I think something simple like a blueberry.
That's 2.
Then I'm gonna go. What's that? Ann, do you have one? Cherry.
That's not right.
Yeah, I didn't say cherry. That came from Ann. I'm gonna go. The brown sugar cinnamon.
That's 3.
Oh my God.
And then number 4, which we already asked everyone back there. No one got it. And Ryan's response was very, very funny to it.
Raspberry.
No, it was apple currant.
Apple what?
Apple currant.
Apple currant. And what did Ryan say?
Is that the current in the ocean?
No, I don't remember apple currant. I kind of remember now. I want to say I do remember like a spiced apple, but I could be just making.
I mean,
that
it's
up.
essentially what apple currant is.
Yeah, right. No, I was only strawberry, and if the store was out of them, I would go blueberry.
but never frosted. So this is all new to me tomorrow. I'm going to have one. I'll tell people now, if the same people are watching. I ate one like every morning before school. I ate a Pop-Tart. That was like my go-to, at least as on the way to the bus or whatever. I'd toast it. And then my last day of high school, I had a Pop-Tart, and I've never had one since. So I did the math. It's 13,352 days I haven't had a Pop-Tart. So I'm going to have one tomorrow. I'm going to bite into a strawberry. Alex will be here. And then I looked, if I waited to have another Pop-Tart, another 13,352 days, that'll be on April 7th, 2060. So I'll be 91, and I figure we'll be on show. What was the matter? We'd be on show here at the South Point, show like 4,000 or something. So things to look forward to.
But the joke that's running in my head
Go
right
for
now
it.
is not good.
2060, I'll be 91 going, take the Steelers over. And then I'll kill over and die. Someone cash that ticket, though.
I'm very
Sean?
impressed with your math, though, to figure out
Very
how
good,
old
Frank.
you'll
Yeah,
be.
well, I had the computer help me out a little bit on that. But yeah, I remembered the dates. April 7th, 2060.
But by the way, have you heard of this? One of my friends actually texted me this because he's a lunatic. But have you ever heard of people putting butter on Pop-Tarts?
Well, I mean, Ryan was singing the song. I'm a huge Family Guy fan, as is he. So when Quagmire and Peter started a singing duo, there was a song, have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? It's so freaking good, which, of course, we have to show that clip tomorrow on Punchlines, which we will. And I have not done that. Have you done that? No, I've never done it. But you know what?
I've never done it either.
You know what? Really? We're doing it tomorrow. We're going through the Pop-Tart. I'm bringing
Are you
a
gonna
toaster.
bring butter up here too
I have a
now?
toaster. Well, we can go down to the EDR, probably has some, right? Okay, we'll take care of it. And I'm bringing a toaster. And is there an outlet back there somewhere? Is there plugging them? There's powers here somewhere in this beautiful studio. All right, we're going to try one tomorrow. I'm going to toast one, and we're putting butter on it. And then I'm going to take 4 Lipitors on set.
In all honesty,
to give
that's
him
what
something to
everyone
do.
wants to see. You taking your cholesterol medicine.
Which, by the way, yeah, I sadly do, but it's just so I can enjoy steak. Why are we talking about my medical? I don't know. Jerry, can I talk about Pittsburgh, please? Anyway, that's where the problem started. My mom used to make steak and potatoes and meat and butter. That's the way we were raised back in I'm going to just look at 70s. I don't know. But I've never rooted for Cleveland, but I think I might root for Cleveland tonight.
And you're rooting for the Ravens this weekend, too. I heard you guys on Punchlines earlier, right?
Yeah, because that would help the
want that to
Steelers'
be
chance.
like-
Because
yes.
that way the Ravens would have won the number 1 seed, the bye, and then they wouldn't need to worry about playing the Steelers next week. Probably play a lot of backups. Even though the Steelers beat Baltimore this year with Kenny Pickett, and it was a weird game. It was 7 drops for Lamar Jackson. It wasn't his fault. So yeah, I guess I am rooting for Baltimore. Which when they were in the Super Bowl against the Niners, I had some friends rooting for them because they didn't want the Niners to win.
They
the
didn't
Super
want
Bowl.
number 6.
They didn't want them to be tied with the Steelers and be
Okay.
6-0. So, yeah, no, I rooted for the Niners. And then there was that weird blackout, and then the whole game was fixed after that or something. Wasn't it? Wasn't that the
Not
rumor?
the direction I expected.
I don't know. Or something. It was all fixed after. It was all scripted. The NFL scripted.
Oh man, that was an interest. I was in college during.
Oh, you had to throw that in, didn't
Yeah, sorry.
One more
I was in.
cookie.
You're eating more cookie on
Well,
here.
you gotta get the chips. That's the best part.
Oh, and I didn't even really get a big chip in mine.
You know, it's National Chocolate Day too. Eat chocolate day.
It's also apparently National Playing Cards Day.
And
Is it?
call a friend.
Yeah,
Call a friend, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have called someone during.
You should have. You
I
gotta
can't-
call
I
someone.
can't. I can't. You already. Denny Nagel didn't answer the phone.
Didn't answer.
But Frank Mergia did though.
Frank, he was on there. He was there and he answered it. Hello, National. By the way, I forgot to mention he has COVID. That's a good friend who has COVID and answered the phone. He's
Sounded
been on
pretty good for having COVID.
He did. He's on lockdown at home, but he might be watching. He watches this show all the time. He's a big Parles fan. He got to meet you when he was here for a convention with the PGA right when I started in October. So, yeah, he's always watching. He watches both shows, but he's sick, but he's well.
Jim answered your phone, technically. I mean, Ian called
Yeah, I
in
guess
for us, but
technically that is a phone call.
But on your way home tonight, you could call a friend.
Yeah, but I do that anyway. How is that special for this day?
That's true. What about Joey B? You could call Joey B.
I thankfully do not have Joey B.
so you have a bet with
And
Joey
thankfully,
B,
well,
though.
Joey B is going to be owing me $6 when this is all said.
So you have the Knights to beat the Kings? Or
No. Joey B was asking what hockey jersey would I wear on set.
Right.
And Joey B's odds were just so
Oh,
horrible.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't even own a Los Angeles Kings jersey,
Right.
nor would I ever own a Los Angeles
Right.
Kings jersey.
He had even money on the
Knights, which, in all honesty, I'm keeping it cheap. I'll be nice and only bet $6 as opposed to everything I have in my wallet right now for knowing that the Knights would be the answer to that question.
Oh, there you go.
I feel very sophisticated just holding this.
It's
cookie
very
the whole-
classy.
the whole time.
And the marshmallow. I mean, the marshmallow brownie. That's enough for a family right there. But that's how Peter does it at the
All right.
Del Mar Deli over here at South Point.
Before we go for today, are you taking the Detroit Pistons tonight?
The money line. When's it
As
tip?
17-point underdogs.
God, what's the money line?
The money line behind us is 8-1. The best price in the market is 9-1. I had one major book nationally that has a crown. The Detroit Piston money line is the most bet money line tonight,
Wow.
which that's going to be a lot of
Is the
fun.
game
That's
in
gonna be a lot
Detroit?
No, the game's in Boston.
It's in Boston. That's right. Oh, yeah.
They're going to lose by 29 points.
Yeah, they
tonight, Frank.
And I'm surprised it's only 800.
Because people have bet it down.
Oh,
I saw
God,
10-1 earlier in the day.
That's
Which, if you bet that, good luck.
Good luck on the Pistons tonight.
Godspeed, everybody.
My goodness.
If you bet that. All right. We're back tomorrow, 2 o'clock.
Sugar
Vinny,
Crush.
Chris, and I, Football Friday. Frank's eating a Pop-Tart on Punchlines tomorrow at noon.
Buttered.
Alex will be there the whole show tomorrow. Alex and I are back on Saturday for our normal 8 a.m. We will have Detroit and Dallas on Saturday night. Pretty good Saturday night.
They did okay on the scheduling on that
NFL,
game right there.
college bowl games tomorrow as well. Looking forward to it. We'll see you tomorrow on Sports by the Book. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. That's Frank Nicotero. Shout out to the crew. And Ryan, Jerry, and Sean doing great work as always. We'll see you tomorrow here on Sports by the Book at South Point.